Richard Lee Armstrong. Ancestry through the time, Richard's ancestors. Based on the latest genetic research available in the recent Ancestry report, represents Richard Lee Armstrong's last 56 generations. German 51.6%, English 16.7%, Slavic 12.5%, French 8.5%, Scandinavia 5.7%, Spanish 1.9%, and Sri Lankan 1.3%. Famous people sharing Richard's Y-DNA, haplogroup mother lineage. David was the second ruler of the United Kingdom of ancient Israel and Judah. He founded the Judean dynasty and united all the tribes of Israel under a single monarch. His son Solomon expanded the empire that David built. David is an important figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Nicolaus Copernicus is most well known for presenting a heliocentric model of the universe. This is a theory that places the sun rather than the Earth at the center of the known universe. This idea helped trigger a revolution in scientific thought in Europe. He was nervous about how well his era-defining idea would be received, so much so that he waited until the very day of his death to publish his book De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium on the revolutions of the celestial spheres. Legend has it Copernicus wanted to give his life's work one final farewell before releasing it to the world. Empress Maria Theresa was the only female ruler of the Habsburg dominions. She was the sovereign of Austria, Hungary, Croatia, Bohemia, Transylvania, Mantua, Milan, Lodomeria, and Galicia, the Austrian Netherlands, and Parma. By marriage, she was Duchess of Lorraine, Grand Duchess of Tuscany, and Holy Roman Empress. Her matrilineal descendants include Emperors Joseph II, Leopold II and Ferdinand I, Frederick William II of Prussia, Tsar Peter II of Russia, Queen Marie Antoinette of France, William I of the Netherlands, Victor Emmanuel II of Italy, and Leopold II of Belgium. Napoleon Bonaparte was a French military and political leader who rose to prominence during the French Revolution. He was Emperor of the French from 1804 until 1814, and again in 1815. He built a large empire that ruled over continental Europe before its final collapse in 1815. One of the greatest commanders in history, his wars and campaigns are studied at military schools worldwide. Napoleon's legacy has ensured his status as one of the most celebrated and controversial leaders in human history. Queen Victoria was Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from 1837 until her death. In 1876, she adopted the additional title of Empress of India. Her lineage can be traced back to Anne of Bohemia and Hungary 1503 to 1546, whose maternal line descendants include many European aristocrats, including Emperor Maximilian II, Marie de Medici, Emperor Ferdinand II, Ladislaw IV Vasa, Louis XIII of France, Philip IV of Spain, Leopold I of Belgium, Pedro V of Portugal, Kaiser Wilhelm II, Ferdinand I of Romania, George II of Greece, and Karl XVI Gustav of Sweden. Warren Buffett is widely considered the most successful investor in the world. In 2008, Forbes ranked the business magnate and multi-billionaire the richest person in the world. He has consistently remained in the top 4 since the annual ranking started in 2000. Long before that, he started selling chewing gum, Coca-Cola bottles, and weekly magazines door to door, his first business venture. His first income tax return in 1944 claimed a $35 deduction for use of his bicycle on his paper route. He was just a freshman in high school. In 1970, his determination and mindset in value investing led him to the holding company, Berkshire Hathaway, where he is now CEO and chairman. Famous people sharing Richard's Y-DNA, haplogroup father lineage. Birger Jarl and his son Erik Bergerson. Birger Jarl was one of Sweden's greatest medieval statesmen. He was the founder of Stockholm and acted as regent of Sweden for 18 years. His sons Valdemar and Magnus succeeded, and their descendants for 100 years, each other as kings of Sweden. This dynasty is known as the House of Bielbo. Emanuel Swedenborg was a Swedish scientist, philosopher, theologian, revelator, and mystic. Alexander Hamilton was an American statesman and one of the founding fathers of the United States of America. He was an influential interpreter and promoter of the U.S. Constitution, as well as the founder of the nation's financial system, the Federalist Party, the United States Coast Guard, and the New York Post newspaper. As the first Secretary of the Treasury, Hamilton was the main author of the economic policies of the George Washington administration. He took the lead in funding the state's debts by the federal government, as well as establishing a national bank, a system of tariffs, and friendly trade relations with Britain. Andrew Jackson was an American soldier and statesman. He served as the 7th President of the United States from 1829 to 1837. He was the founder of the Democratic Party. Before being elected to the presidency, Jackson served in Congress and gained fame as a general in the United States Army. As president, Jackson sought to advance the rights of the common man against a corrupt aristocracy and to preserve the Union. Calvin Coolidge was the 30th President and 29th Vice President of the United States. A Republican lawyer from Vermont, Coolidge worked his way up the ladder of Massachusetts state politics until he became governor. His response to the Boston police strike of 1919 thrust him into the national spotlight and gave him a reputation as a man of decisive action. Soon after, he was elected as the 29th Vice President in 1920. Elected in his own right in 1924, he gained a reputation as a small government conservative. He was a man who said very little, although having a rather dry sense of humor. Bill Clinton served as the 42nd President of the United States from 1993 to 2001. He started his career as Arkansas's Attorney General. Then he was the 40th Governor of Arkansas and the state's 42nd Governor. A member of the Democratic Party, Clinton was ideologically a New Democrat, and many of his policies reflected a centrist third-way political philosophy. Bill Clinton and Hillary Rodham earned degrees from Yale Law School, where they met. Hillary Clinton was the Democratic nominee for president in 2016. Richard's maternal haplogroup. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup MTE have been determined to originate from the region of Kenya. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup L3 have been determined to originate from the region of Sudan. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup N have been determined to originate from the region of Armenia. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup R have been determined to originate from the region of Iran. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup RO have been determined to originate from the region of Saudi Arabia. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup HV have been determined to originate from the region of South Turkey. Richard belonged to haplogroup H1 have been determined to originate from the region of Spain. It is said to have been formed around 22,500 years ago in Western Europe. Richard's paternal haplogroup. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup Y Adam have been determined to originate from the region of Cameroon. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup BT have been determined to originate from the region of Malawi. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup CF have been determined to originate from the region of Southwest Asia/Iraq. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup F have been determined to originate from the region of India. Richard's ancestors for haplogroup I have been determined to originate from the region of Ukraine. Richard belongs to haplogroup I1 and has been determined to originate from the region of Sweden. Haplogroup I not only originated in Europe 31,000 to 35,000 years ago, but represents almost 20% of the European population. Richard's extended family. Ninth-degree relatives: Kathleen Davis, Karen Madison, Nina Fairman, Eric Warner, Rhonda Howland, Andrew Cartwright, Everly Engel, Rebecca Wolf, Gwen Sell, Natalie Johnson, Billy French, Malcolm Heaton, Molly Lemke, Alexis Holloman, Dory Lane, Melinda Narshri Hasbun Shuka, Joseph Warren, Penny Short, Peter Holshausen, Kathy Swindell, Samantha Matthews, Norman Meinhardt, Robert Pohl, Casey Williams, Eighth Degree Relatives, John Matthew, Michael Moyer, Richard Evans, Richard Sevart, Cheryl Pahaham, Kenneth Hives, Craig Favron, Lily Von Stein, Megan Gallagher, Tanya Bosley, Christopher Decker, Raleigh Callahan, Stephen Chandler, Melanie Robson, Raymond Thomas Louis, Harold Jackson, Joey Louis Cudoni, Michelle Wyant, Victoria Whelan, Brenda Douglas, David Mays, Jonathan Doyon, Bethan German, Sunrayna Carrillo, Seventh Degree Relative, Dawn LaGrange, Richard Lee Armstrong, a man of exceptional character and talent. He possesses all the qualities of a great leader: intelligence, charisma, and a strong sense of justice. On July 12, 1958, Richard was born in Rhode Island, United States, from a long bloodline of a respected family, including Queen Victoria. Richard had the commitment, resilience, and strong work ethic instilled in him from birth. Those core values, along with his strong admiration for helping others succeed. Richard spent his early years in North Kingstown and Rhode Island, moving back and forth through college before finally settling into Florida, USA to pursue his family business and as commercial real estate agent 30 years later. As commercial real estate agent, nothing makes Richard happier than being a valuable resource for businesses, organizations, and industries to reach their future office space objectives. Highly motivated, passionate, and client-driven, Richard Armstrong is a spearheading Southern Florida commercial real estate agent who has cultivated the leadership skills to succeed in the ever-evolving competitive market. As the top commercial agent at Highlight Realty Network out of 800 people since 2008, Richard has built a rooted foundation and a deep understanding of the commercial buying, leasing, negotiating, and marketing processes that guarantee a positive experience for all his clients. He has sold and leased hundreds of properties throughout his career, with a more recent accomplishment, closing over 100 deals a year for 3 consecutive years. He strongly desires to give people the support they need to thrive, which inspired him to lend money to over 70 business people in over 41 countries at no interest and no partnerships involved. He has a true ardency for his career, values integrity and trust, and is always putting his clients first. Overall, he illuminates this devotion by delivering transparent, professional, and qualified services and strives to make win-win scenarios for every situation. His focus on achieving nothing but success and his mission to provide smooth experiences can solidify your confidence that you are in the best hands from start to finish. Richard Lee Armstrong experienced a life-changing transformation through God, leading him to dedicate his life to prayer and ministry. For 7 years, he traveled through cities and towns, praying for people and sharing God's healing power. He then spent another 7 years leading Holy Spirit miracle services in churches, where he prayed for the sick and saw God work instant healings. Wanting to share these experiences, he wrote a book, Holy Spirit Miracle Academy and the Evil Spirits, and it's about how God's miracles changed lives, including stories from other people and his encounters with spiritual challenges. His teachings and message of faith have reached people in 205 countries and territories. One of his hobbies is storytelling of God's miracles as done in his life. He already published 2 books, Holy Spirit Miracle Academy and The Evil Spirits, and The Disciple, A Journey from Atheism to Miracle Worker. Trace his path from doubt to faith to one of awe and devotion. Each story reveals his moments of encountering God's power, the struggle between faith and disbelief, and the transformation that comes from surrendering to a higher purpose. His works invite readers to walk with him through his struggles, revelations, and the miracles that forever changed his life. available on Amazon. Richard Lee Armstrong has taken another big step in his journey, from writing and creating his stories to finally sharing them with the world. His 3 movies are officially published on aps.movie. Beyond his real estate career, there's another side of Richard, a visionary driven by a love for innovation and design. Richard isn't just an innovator, he's the original designer of the drone and holds an impressive range of patents: 3 patents for ship designs for the Department of Defense, 1 patent for Amazon, 1 patent for cruise and cargo ships, 1 patent in the aerospace sector, 5 patents for new transport. Each of these achievements speaks to his knack for turning bold ideas into reality, reshaping and pushing boundaries. Whether he's developing solutions for global transportation or advancing aerospace design, Richard's work is marked by creativity and a relentless drive for progress. Richard Lee Armstrong, a commercial real estate agent, loves what he does and is always looking for ways to improve himself personally and professionally to better serve his clients when he is not working. He creates a drone with 4 propellers that was utilized within the DARPA and Navy and now is worldwide, showcased in the movie Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow, amongst others. In addition, in 2019, he patented and is still working on the architecture and engineering of Can't Say. Richard Lee Armstrong real estate achievements. Signed over $10 million in lease contracts in 2023. Filled over 300 office suites in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Filled 12 office buildings. In February 2023, signed 13 deals. In September, signed 9 deals in the first 2 weeks. And signed over 40,000 square feet, doing only 7 deals in 1 month. Richard Lee Armstrong's work in real estate extends beyond property management. He leads a dedicated marketing team of 10 individuals, each who has seen their career grow under his guidance. Through his mentorship, Richard has created opportunities for his 10 team members to develop new skills, explore their potential, and build rewarding careers. Beyond his in-house team, Richard coordinates with over 150 subcontractors across 50 different specialties, allowing him to offer a wide range of services to meet the diverse needs of his clients. Working closely with a second agent, he leverages this network to provide seamless, reliable service across all aspects in the real estate industry. There's more to Richard than just real estate. He's a dedicated community builder who's earned the trust of property owners across Florida. As a top-tier realtor, Richard now manages leases for over 43 professional and medical office spaces throughout Florida. His reach extends beyond state lines, marketing for over 57 similar spaces across the United States. As he continues to grow his portfolio, Richard aims to bring the same level of commitment and expertise to the public sector, fostering productive connections within and beyond the Florida real estate.